Good day, Brazos Valley, or as we like to say, howdy. It's September. We're looking at August's numbers, and as usual, we're starting with the average days on market. This time we are following the green line, a rather recent development. The MLS changed its color coding, so before we were following a red line, and now it's green. So, which is the year 2023. As you can see, we have had a pretty sharp decline in average days on market, which would be an indication of a higher level of sales than the previous month, which at this point in the year, fairly uncommon. It's kind of a blip on the screen. Now, I trust that we'll continue to increase our average days on the market because usually during the fall, our activity goes down, and that's an end effect, or a result. So now, when we're looking at days on market, for those of you who are new to this, it is the number of days from when a property is listed until it is sold, not until it's under contract. So a lot of people think, well, it that property sold. Well, no, a lot of times it's just under contract, it hasn't sold yet. Typically, you can subtract about 30 to 45 days off of that number to determine how long it took to go under contract, at least on average, if you're looking at this number. So next, we're taking a look at units sold. And as, I don't know if I'd say predicted, but as I mentioned, we've had some more activity. We closed 329 transactions for the month of August, compared to 319 in July. So another little blip on the screen. Last time that happened was last year, but as you can see, the previous 3 years, we did not do that. So I trust that as, again, we move into the fall, that will follow its normal trajectory, or as it has in the previous years, where we decrease the number of closed transactions as we move into the holidays in the fall. So next, we're taking a look at the new listings taken. And we're on trend. We're back on trend. No more little blips on the screen right now. 451 new listings taken compared to 462 last month. And we will continue to decrease that. Again, that's just a prediction here, into the fall and winter months. And this statistic is actually just for Bryan and College Station, not for the 7-county area, which is what you were looking at, the previous 3 graphics. So our median price point, $306,680, which is up 2.2%. 2.2% is something worth note. That is a normal growth rate. That's a normal amount of appreciation year over year. We've seen double-digit appreciation rates since the pandemic. And that is starting to happen less and less, which I think is a good indicator. Slow, steady growth would indicate less volatility. So active listings are up 23.5%. We are actually above 1,200 active listings, that is normal. We were at 926 at this time last year. And people were still scrambling to purchase property at that point. So buyers, you've got a few more things out there to look at. You may have a few more options as far as negotiations are concerned. But it's still very much a seller's market, as we'll cover in a minute here. Days on market, 82. So that's another indication of a seller or a seller's market. If you're below that 120-day mark, it's usually, and that's far below that mark. It's a good indicator of being in a seller's market. Price distribution, about where it usually is, with the lion's share of active listings between $200,000 and $300,000. Closed sales are down 16.4% because we're not in the pandemic anymore. Interest rates started to increase about this time last year, and this is one of the results of that. Months of inventory, 3.3. Typically an indication of moving into a balanced market and potentially into a buyer's market is a 6-month mark. For those of you not familiar with this mark, what this is, we ask a hypothetical question to come up with some kind of measurement. So that hypothetical question is, if we were to repeat the same number of sales that we had in the month of August, in this case, over and over again, how much time would it take for us to completely deplete our inventory without adding anything new? And the answer is 3.3 months. So once you get at or above that 6-month mark, again, that's an indication that we're moving more into a buyer's market. We haven't been at that 6-month mark in years. So not to fret. We are an appreciating market. There's, properties are in demand. As far as this is, if you've seen this before, this next statistic is the numbers are pulled from the MLS. I'm trying to kind of gauge what's coming because when a property goes pending, more than likely it's going to close. So maybe in the next 30 to 45 days, this might be an indicator of what's to come. Now, we've had 64 new pending listings in the last week. That means it went under contract. Of 1,252 active listings. So that means 5.1% of our inventory went under contract in a week. So, it is an active market. Now, if you look at the graph below, like a chart below, the blue and the yellow lines are significantly higher. But those were the pandemic years. This year has been a heck of a lot steadier. We're still an active market. The other indications of a seller's market being days on market and amount of inventory are clear indications that we are still in a seller's market. We're just not at that same pace that we were this time last year and previous years. So I hope that this is helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out because every person's individual situation requires nuance, needs a little individual attention. So there's a link below. You can schedule some time on the phone or we can do it face-to-face. I'll buy you coffee. Feel free to reach out. And otherwise, hope you guys are doing well. Talk to you next time.